When your cat suddenly bites you, what do you think it means? Most people assume it's anger or aggression. But that explanation is often wrong. Because many cat bites aren't about hostility at all, they're a reaction to something much deeper. Cats rarely jump straight to biting without reason. In most situations, the bite is the final step in a chain of communication that started long before their teeth ever touched your skin. The problem is that humans often miss the earlier signals. One of the most common situations happens during petting. Everything seems calm. Your cat is sitting comfortably beside you, maybe even purring. You're gently stroking their back or scratching behind their ears. Then suddenly they turn and bite your hand. It feels confusing and even a little hurtful, like the moment changed without warning. But from your cat's perspective, there were warnings. Cats have a sensory threshold for touch. Some cats enjoy long petting sessions. Others become overwhelmed after only a short time. When that threshold is reached, the nervous system shifts from relaxation to overstimulation. Behavior researchers studying feline body language have found that cats usually show subtle warning signals before a bite happens. The tail may begin flicking or twitching at the tip. The ears rotate slightly backward. The body stiffens under your hand. These signals are easy to miss because they appear small and happen quickly, but to a cat, they are the polite way of saying that the interaction is becoming too much. If the signals are ignored, the bite becomes the final message that finally creates space. Learning to stop petting at the first signs of tension can completely change how these interactions feel to your cat. Ending the moment early tells them you understand their limits. And that builds trust much faster than continuing until they feel forced to defend themselves. But not every bite means your cat wants distance. Some bites happen because your cat learned something very different while growing up. Many cats are accidentally trained to treat human hands like prey. When kittens are young, everything that moves becomes a potential target. If hands are used during play, wiggling fingers, tapping the floor, moving quickly in front of their face, the kitten's brain begins categorizing hands as something that can be hunted. At first it seems harmless. The kitten pounces, the person laughs, and the game continues. But over time, the lesson sticks. A cat that learned to chase hands as a kitten may continue that behavior as an adult. The difference is that adult teeth are much sharper. Researchers studying feline play behavior have observed that cats who regularly play with human hands during kittenhood are more likely to bite hands later during everyday interactions. From the cat's perspective, the behavior isn't aggression. It's simply continuing the game they were taught. The easiest way to change that pattern is by shifting play to toys that create distance between your hands and the cat. Wand toys, feather toys, or moving objects allow your cat to chase and pounce without associating skin with prey. With consistent play using toys instead of hands, many cats gradually stop targeting hands altogether. If you're finding these insights helpful in understanding your cat's behavior, consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps more cat owners learn what their cats are really trying to communicate. Sometimes a bite has a completely different cause. Pain. Cats are extremely skilled at hiding discomfort. In the wild, showing weakness could make an animal a target, so cats evolved to mask pain as much as possible. A cat with an aching joint, a sore tooth, or an internal issue may continue behaving normally for long periods of time. They eat. They walk around the house. They sleep in their usual spots. But when a hand touches the exact area that hurts, the reaction can be immediate. A bite in this situation isn't meant to attack. It's a reflexive response to protect a painful part of the body. This is why sudden biting that appears out of nowhere can sometimes signal a medical issue. If biting only happens when a specific part of the body is touched, or if your cat suddenly becomes sensitive in areas they previously enjoyed being scratched, it's worth paying attention. In some cases, the bite may be the only clear signal your cat gives that something is wrong. A veterinary checkup can rule out issues such as dental pain, arthritis, infections, or injuries that may otherwise go unnoticed. Another type of bite happens so quickly that it feels almost automatic. You reach for your cat and before you can react, they snap and pull away. This type of bite usually comes from fear. When a cat becomes frightened, their brain switches into a survival response. The goal isn't to attack, the goal is to create distance from whatever feels threatening. In that moment, the cat isn't analyzing your intentions. Their nervous system has already decided the situation feels unsafe. You'll often see signs that accompany this reaction. The ears flatten against the head. The body crouches or stiffens. The eyes widen and the pupils grow large. Sudden movements, loud sounds, unfamiliar visitors, or being picked up unexpectedly can trigger this reaction. Research on feline stress responses has shown that unpredictable environments can increase fear-based reactions, even toward owners the cat normally trusts. When a cat reacts this way, the best response is to give them space. Allow them to retreat to a safe place where they can calm down. Trying to chase, restrain, or force comfort in that moment often increases the fear. But there's one final type of bite that surprises many cat owners. Because sometimes a bite is actually a sign of affection. These are often called love bites. They usually happen during calm moments when your cat is already relaxed, perhaps sitting on your lap, purring softly, or gently grooming your hand. Instead of biting hard, the cat gives a light nibble. Behaviorists believe this behavior may come from kittenhood grooming rituals. When kittens groom each other, gentle nips can occur as part of bonding and social interaction. When an adult cat repeats that behavior with a human, it may simply be including you in that same social pattern. A love bite usually feels very different from other bites. The body remains relaxed. The ears stay neutral. The cat continues purring or resting. There's no tension, no attempt to escape, and no warning signals beforehand. It's simply part of a calm interaction between two members of the same social group. The key difference between these bites and the others is the emotional context surrounding them. Cats communicate constantly through small signals. A bite can mean overstimulation, learned play behavior, hidden pain, fear, or affection depending on what led up to that moment. Understanding the difference requires watching the entire situation, not just the bite itself. Because for a cat, biting isn't random. It's part of a language. And once you begin recognizing what each signal means, those confusing moments start to make a lot more sense.